Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel where I'm bringing you on my journey of leaving my 9 to 5 and chasing my entrepreneur dreams. I'm showing you all the things that I'm doing right and wrong as a financially independent work optional expat. And I have been referring to myself as an expat in all of my content, and recently a bunch of you guys have asked me, Sam, what is an expat? I assumed you guys knew, but apparently you don't. And so in today's video, we're going to address the definition of an expat and why we chose the expat life. Tim Ferriss says most people don't want to be millionaires. They just want to experience what they think only millionaires can buy. The question is, therefore, how can you achieve the lifestyle of a millionaire without having $1 million in the bank? The answer is simple. You become an expat. I'm going to show you how I live like a millionaire, even though I'm not a millionaire, at least not yet, but soon, very soon. If you want to live like this, maybe tomorrow or in 3 years and 5 years, I'm going to share my firsthand experience. So keep on watching if this is a life that you may want to live one day. I promise you, expat life is the best life. So what exactly is an expat? Well, the word expat comes from the word expatriate. An expat is a person who resides outside of their home country. So the word comes from the Latin term ex, which means out of, and patria, which means country or fatherland, so out of the country. What I find interesting about this term expat is it's typically reserved exclusively for Westerners with a higher socioeconomic status. So an American living in Thailand is an expat, but a Thai person who lives in America, they're called immigrants. A little strange, right? So why would you choose to live the expat life? Well, over the years, there's been a global rise of expats and international citizens. And globally, 62% of expats report they chose to live abroad because, number one reason, they want a lower cost of living. They save more money living abroad compared to living in their home countries. And other common reasons why many people choose to live abroad is really to improve their work-life balance, to increase their savings rate, to advance their career opportunities, and to adopt a healthier lifestyle. So expats typically leave their home country to go work abroad. Most of the time, they work remotely as digital nomads, and they earn income equivalent or more of their home country. For example, as a US expat living in Thailand, I earn income in US dollars, but I live in Thai baht. Now, I don't have $1 million in my bank account, but I live a very rich life in Thailand. And being an expat is essentially the secret sauce to building wealth quickly. Expats have a higher chance of building wealth because they have more disposable income. Now let's break this down a little further. Okay, so imagine you make $6,000 a month from your 9 to 5 job. In the US, you may be able to save 20% of that income, and if you're smart, you would invest the 20%. Now, the other 80% goes to your expenses, your car, your mortgage payment, your insurance, your student loan debt, etc. Now, if you live in Thailand and you continue to earn that $6,000 from your US job a month and you work remotely, your lifestyle significantly improves. And so does your pocket, because now you're earning the same income but living in a country with a much lower cost of living. And you are no longer paying $2,000 a month for rent, unless of course you choose to rent in a very upscale area. But here in Thailand, you can live in a fully furnished 3-bedroom villa for less than $1,000 a month. So you can save that extra $1,000 you're spending on rent in the US, and now that extra money can go to investing. And you can also afford a lot of things you probably couldn't afford in the US. A nanny, a cook, a pool cleaner, a laundry service. Yes, these are all affordable help that you can hire. It costs less than $5 for someone here to wash a load of clothes for you and iron your underwear. They do that, they make it nice and crisp for you. So you can hire a maid to clean your house and prep your meals for you. In the US, if you had a maid or a nanny or a cook, people would assume you are loaded because hired help is very expensive in America. And the typical American can't really afford hired help. And we just wouldn't pay someone to do all this stuff for us. But imagine if you add up all those hours per week that you spent doing dishes, folding laundry, prepping dinner, mopping and vacuuming and deep cleaning your bathroom. Imagine saving 3 hours a week to hire someone to do it for you. That means that in a span of a month, you have 12 extra hours a month doing things you love to do. So this really allows you to enjoy your life. You can read more books, take a course to invest, learn to start a business, create a YouTube channel, train for a marathon, learn to swim, whatever. So when you're an expat, you actually spend less money on these services than a typical modern American family spend a week on takeout. That's right, that's crazy, right? You wouldn't believe how much money I save here living in Thailand. And just the quality of life is better because I can afford to dine at a 5-star restaurant. Instead of paying $60 for a 10-ounce ribeye steak at a jazz venue, I'm only paying $25 here. And instead of paying $15 for a fancy cocktail, I'm paying $4 here. And I can rent private yachts or boats, go on day trips to exclusive islands, or go to a beach club just like the ones you see in Vegas for a fraction of the price. So yes, you live like a millionaire without having a millionaire status in your bank account. So essentially, it is a lifestyle upgrade, and I'm loving it. That's why I can't leave this place. I can't leave, you guys. I can't leave. Oh, and if you aren't already following me, hop on over to my Instagram, linked here below, to see how our lifestyle has changed over the last 6 months since we moved here. My Instagram page looks like one of those rich 25-year-olds who's paid to travel and sip on coconuts at the beach, but that's not true, guys. I'm 35 years old with 2 toddlers trying to build my own company, and we just packed up and moved somewhere where luxury is cheap. That's essentially it. It took a few months to plan this whole entire trip and required some paperwork, and yes, anybody can do it. So follow me on Instagram to see what's like to live day in Phuket. Okay, so if you're not already convinced why being an expat makes your life so much easier, so much better, I'm gonna throw some statistics your way. So in 2021, after a lot of the COVID restrictions were lifted, people from all over the world were escaping their home countries to live on a beach in Phuket or in Bali. And they're traveling a lot more because they realized how the pandemic truly affected their mental health. And when they surveyed hundreds and thousands of expats from all over the world, they found that expats said 60% of them said that they were eating healthier in their new home. 27% said they were drinking less alcohol. 43% said they were exercising more and losing weight. And 80% said they had decreased stress levels. Now I can certainly attest for a decreased stress level because I literally left the US because my 9 to 5, or actually 7 to 7, was killing me. I have been a PA for 9 years and I've always said medicine is my calling, but at the same time, the hustle and grind culture in the US is just, I don't know, it's whack. And as soon as my feet hit the sand in Thailand, I felt the stress instantly melt away. And as Americans, which includes me and my husband, we're all so obsessed with proving that we are hard workers, now we can make it, we can do more and do more and more and have more money, which is nice because you're making a more comfortable living, but you're not enjoying life. When I was living in the US, my stress level was a 10 out of 10. And in Thailand, I would say my stress level was maybe a 1 or 2 out of 10. When you're functioning at a level of 10 out of 10 all the time, eventually you burn out and life just becomes less enjoyable and you're miserable and you're depressed. And it's just not the way to live life. And I didn't even know back then that I was living at a constant high level of stress and anxiety until I came here. I didn't even know how great it was to have a cook and a nanny and a maid until I came here. And I think what's more important now is with having kids, I don't want my kids to live the lifestyle. I want them to see how mom and dad are living, and I want them to know that we're present with them and doing things with them and we're enjoying life together. Because life is more important than work. Life, like, you don't go to work to make more money. You go to work so that you can provide for your family, but you want to be able to provide for your family in a way that doesn't suck out your life and your soul. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but what I'm trying to say is that we hope to instill these values into our kids so that they can live a better lifestyle and they can adopt this new way of life to their life. So this is why I chose the expat life. I don't intend to be an expat forever, and living in Thailand is temporary. I call this my adult gap year or gap years, but this is my opportunity in my 30s while my kids are still young to live a different life that I'm used to back at home. This is my opportunity to grow my business and improve my quality of life. And if I was in my 20s without kids, I would probably travel all over the world, living in different countries, trying new things for a few months at a time. But me being in my 30s with kids, living in one country is much more feasible and much more realistic. So my question for you is, are you inspired to take your adult gap year and live the expat life? I've talked a lot about the truly amazing parts of being an expat, but of course there are always some drawbacks. And from my personal experience, the benefits outweighs those drawbacks. And if you're interested in hearing about all of my struggles as an expat, drop a comment below and I will share some more. I love talking about the good, the bad, and the very, very ugly, because we did come across a lot of hiccups. So I can't wait to share that with you. So please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and make sure you watch one of these videos to learn more about our journey here and what a life is like for a real expat. And with that said, thank you so much for your support. I will see you next time. Bye guys, see you in the next video.